And we're back. You're listening to the Offbeat Business Show. This is Susan Hamilton. I'm talking to Dennis Luellen with Rebuilding Together Greater Dallas. And we're doing this show strategically. The timing of it is pretty important, friends, because Dennis is embarking on a rather large project.
Yeah, we call it a huge undertaking.
Is that all you call it?
My staff calls it other things, but I don't think they say it in front of my face. So,
So what have you got coming up in September, Dennis? Because this is huge, and every time I hear it, it's keeping you up at night. It gives me some goosebumps. We must be on the right path here.
It's exciting.
Let's
I'm going
talk
to tell you
about
that
it.
for
Yeah.
sure. Last year, I was approached by a couple of different organizations. Camden Properties was one of them,
Okay.
who came to me and said, hey, we have a pretty good number of volunteers. We're looking for projects to help veterans. Can you help us? And it was one of my areas where I was expanding our organization already, was into the area of helping veterans. And especially with what we do, it's so well tailored for folks who maybe suffered a disability during their combat or during their tour of duty. So those kinds of things, to be able to reach out and help another population with what we're doing was huge for me, especially with my dad, a veteran, and my brother, 3 tours. So I definitely wanted to focus a little extra heavy on veterans anyway. So the timing was perfect. So by the time I got that call, and then within 2 days I got 2 more calls, I had almost 750 volunteers ready to work on 9/11. So I started doing the math in my head. I was like, it really wouldn't take that much to get to 911 volunteers on 9/11. Wouldn't that be a great news story?
Yeah.
So it wound up we had 1,006 volunteers, and the media called it 9/11, which is great. 911 volunteers serving on 9/11. And we performed projects down at the VA hospital in South Dallas, the VA complex in Bonham, Texas.
Oh, they need you so badly.
And then we did a wonderful neighborhood revitalization effort right there immediately adjacent to the VA hospital, where we repaired 11 homes and 2 churches all in one day. So on the outside of that one, looking back at it and reflecting, I visited with our really good partners at Home Depot, and they said, we would really like to be a bigger part of that next year. We're all about veterans, which I knew that about Home Depot already. And we're all about what you guys are doing. We want to help more. So this year, Operation Freedom, instead of just being one day, is going to stretch from 9/11 to 11/11. So from Freedom Day to
Holy
Veterans
smokes.
Day.
Hey!
And we somehow, by a hook or by crook, we're going to repair and renovate 60 veterans' homes in 60 days with the help of our good friends at Home Depot and Wells Fargo and Camden Cares and all those other folks that help us put this stuff together.
Wow.
So 60 homes in 60 days. It can be anywhere there's a Home Depot within the North Texas area. So we're going to have projects stretching all the way from Terrell to Waxahachie to Weatherford to Denton and Louisville and everywhere, all points in between, even up in the Collin County area. We've already identified a few veterans up there that need some help as well.
Wow, so you're not talking about going into one central location and knocking it out. No, you guys are going to be spread out at a huge spider web of service and resources, just getting things done. Oh, wow, the smiles. I look forward to that as much as you do. Very nice.
The good news is we've spread it out a little bit, because trying to do that all in one day would have been a very daunting task.
Yeah, if not impossible.
Well, that was my original plan.
Oh.
And I went to Home Depot with 50 homes in one day, and they were like, I'm not sure about that. So the cooler heads prevailed on that one, and so we decided. Home Depot has an interesting thing they call the Celebration of Service.
Okay.
And it's from 9/11 to 11/11, and it's all about serving veterans.
Wonderful.
And so it matches up perfectly. So whenever they sat down and really explained the Celebration of Service to me, I revamped Operation Freedom to match up with that Celebration of Service so that we could kind of mirror that same effort of helping as many veterans during that time frame as possible and wrapping it all up on Veterans Days. And the folks you don't see on the flyer, the sponsors that have come forward recently, are friends over at the Texas Legends and Gillies and Billy Bob's.
Nice.
Mr. Donnie Nelson has agreed to help us host a volunteer appreciation party at his wonderful facilities, Billy Bob's and Gillies, for these folks that come out and help us on this. So we're going to it's going to be a nice thing. Going to get out there and really just tell everybody thank you and show them what we did and put up some slideshow of the pictures, the before, the during, the afters, and let them relish in the accomplishments that were done. during the kickoff day, 9/11. We'll do about 20 homes on 9/11. We'll do another concentrated effort on October 15, 16, 17. And then we'll come back around and we'll do another round of homes on November 11th on Veterans Day itself. And yet, during that entire time, there will be little individual projects going on also.
I'm sure, and some details that need to get done.
Absolutely. A punch list, a pre-work, that kind of stuff. But we'll have teams. Teams can work on a home anytime during that time frame, whatever works best for them. So that's another blessing. Some people can come out on weekdays, some can't come out till Saturday.
Sure.
So we've got every opportunity. You want to come out on a Wednesday? Come out on a Wednesday. You want to come out on a Friday? Come join us on 9/11.
I mean, it's just foolish to miss this opportunity. I mean, why would you miss this? Get involved. Oh, my
Absolutely.
stars. This is so exciting, and the weather will start to be cooling down a little bit.
Well, maybe. If you remember,
we're gonna
September
hope.
10th of last year, September 10th, 2014 was 104 degrees.
That was crazy.
We know because we were prepping
Yeah, I
for our
bet.
big 9/11 last year. So I hope it cools down a little bit quicker this year.
Yeah, but you stretched out into November, and
All
I
the
do
way
know
in
it'll be
November.
warm because I'm still getting tomatoes and peppers in November. That's when my son's birthday is.
But by
He likes his
November 11th,
peppers.
we should be past all the heat.
Yeah.
We would hope.
No, but it sounds like fun to go party at Gillies with everybody during the time.
Absolutely.
You can
Who
bet
would
the
not want
Offbeat
to?
Business Show will be there.
There we go.
Full on. That's going to be fun.
Love to have you. in.
Yeah, I love to help, love to get involved. Like I said, we've got to be sharing this information with our local homeowners associations and make sure that you recognize that there is a group out here that is making a difference, friends. All of us, we have a business focus here at the Offbeat Business Show. We are all about making sure we're connecting those dots between what we're doing in business and what we're doing in community by offering business tips that cause you to really work at an excellent level for much bigger purposes than Friday's payroll. And you add to that the resources that we share with you that need desperately your time and attention. We can be solutions. Our businesses are solutions on so many levels, not just to our customers and clients, which of course we all aim to be, but in our communities. We don't have to have people broken down with no way to get inside their home. We don't have to have our military vets coming back missing limbs after going to bat for us, and then they can't get around their own home or take care of their children the way that they want to and long to in their heart. So I just think this is exciting and a wonderful opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to participate with my business. That it's one thing to show up, but it's another thing to say, you know what, I'm going to offer this opportunity to my employees. I'm going to incentivize this, and we are going to be a part of this group and a part of this movement. And think about the connection, friends, that makes for you as a business owner to your community when they see you as a part of the solution on a much bigger level.
And not only with their associates, I mean, we've found that this is a huge team building experience for companies that come out and work with us. I mean, the gratification, you get to work shoulder to shoulder with usually the homeowners are helping out as well, as much as they can. Yeah, some can't, but some can.
Sure, I bet that conversation's amazing.
Oh, it's amazing. And the gratification, because they're always so appreciative of the work that's being done. I mean, generally the case is we come in and do this work, and these folks are telling us we've been praying and praying for somebody to come help us. We didn't even know you guys existed. You are the answer to our prayers. So we love to have companies and organizations and folks come help us answer prayers, because that's what we're all about.
Absolutely.
A great team building experience, just tremendous. There's really no equal in my mind on being able to come out and help folks like this and walk away and knowing what you did that day and how much of a lasting impression and how much you've helped improve the quality of their life. Even just the renovations outside, the curb appeal, in the interest of neighborhood revitalization, you come in and you do a paint job on a home and you do a landscaping job, and all of a sudden you come back the next day because you forgot something, and you notice the neighbors on either side have now done work on their yard because the one in the middle looks good now, and it was making theirs look even, and so a little bit of that sense of pride of neighborhood comes back as well.
Oh, I love that angle, Dennis, because we are talking to the 80% of American small business that are family-owned businesses of 9 employees or less, and the amount of those that are actually run from homes or from the plazas adjacent their neighborhoods. This
Right.
does matter. The proximity from work to home is actually quite close for the majority of American business owners, and that's really something to think about. You can improve your whole neighborhood just by participating in everybody's neighborhood, which in Texas, we've got some pretty nice property values at the moment.
In some places.
You know, let's keep that looking good, and let's bring that full circle. Make sure everybody's can take advantage of those types of things.
Absolutely. I do need to tell you, one of the
Yes.
hardest parts of this operation is finding veterans who need help. And we've got about
wow.
45 on the list so far, but if you're familiar with veterans, you know, like I do, that they don't really ask for help.
Right.
I mean, they may tell their best friend they need help, but they don't go much further than that. Veterans are very proud, and that they have a hard time asking for assistance like what we do. And so what we rely on really is referral, is a family member who knows the plight that they're in, or a social worker or a case manager at the VA hospital that knows the situation these folks are in and knows that there's somebody out there that can help them if they would just ask for the help. So an amazing thing, I just came across some additional funding we have to be able to help recent veterans from recent conflicts, Afghanistan and Iraq and that time period forward. If they were injured and or received some kind of a disability during their tenure, during their time of duty, there's extra funding for them for home repairs specific to what their disability is. So a complete bathroom remodel is not out of the question. Something like that is like $12,000 to $14,000 if they're now in a wheelchair and they have trouble getting in and out of their bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, an organization like this, the one that we found, will give us $7,500 of that. It's almost half. Well, then you combine that with our partnership with Home Depot, where we get resources and materials donated from them, and all of a sudden we're able to do a $10,000 or $12,000 remodel with just the $7,500. So that's one of the greatest things about our organization is we're able to stretch a dollar donation, sometimes 3, sometimes 5 times more than just that $1 we're able
that's
to
fantastic.
provide back because of the volunteers coming in. You
Yeah.
try to go have your whole house repainted on the outside. How much would it cost you?
Well, I used my kids to keep them out of trouble over spring break.
Well, there you go. That's just like having
But
volunteers.
you're right. It's time to do that. And it is very much as management, right? It's a lot of work.
Volunteer, it's
Yeah,
the same
voluntold.
thing. Exactly.
That's funny.
So.
Yeah, it's a huge effort, and like you need the people that are willing to put their arms into it.
Absolutely.
And like you were saying, to identify where those needs ideally are, because actually they're everywhere, and there are so many silent people in our very own communities. To use the word ideally, there isn't any particular spot you can expect to see this great need. You would think that it might be certain identifiable neighborhoods, and there might be some issues there that you can, but largely it's not enough. That we need to make sure we're reaching those people in our communities, and that's us, friends. That's us. That's what we do here. And you were talking about one of the ways that your Texas Women's University is helping you identify some people.
Thank you for bringing them up. It's incredible what they do for us. Their 3rd and 4th year students in their occupational therapy department actually come out and do assessments for us with the help of one of the instructors. And so that, I don't even know, I can't even begin to put a cost of what that is worth to us. To have an occupational therapist come in and tell us how far to raise or to lower the counters, how far to lower the light switches, where to put the grab bars, strategically, what to do to the house to make it more livable. So many people, especially our seniors we deal with, are being told, oh, you need to go live somewhere else. And all they need is a few modifications to their home, and they could continue to live there independently and with pride for as long as they want. We have a 103-year-old woman who we did work on a couple of years ago, and she's now 105, still in her home, was being told at the time she had to leave her home. And her daughter reached out to us, and her granddaughter actually. We got the work done, and she's still living in her home. And her dream, I ask every one of our recipients, what's your dream? Because I want to make sure they're realistic.
Right.
What do you want? She wanted to die in her home. She didn't want to die somewhere. Her grandfather built the home. She was born in the home. She wanted to die in the home.
Wow.
So you know what? That's not that hard of a dream to be able to help. So we come across that every once in a while. We're able to help somebody realize a dream as well.
That is amazing. Dennis, before we go, I just want you to tell our audience what is the best way when they go through the Offbeat Business Show and Magazine. They're going to have access to you, but not everybody gets our resources when they have a pen and paper or those. So go ahead and share how they can reach out to you?
Easiest ways to find out more about Rebuilding Together Greater Dallas is to go to our website, which is www.rebuildingdallas.org. Our office phone number 972-245-6900. And my personal email address is dluellen, it's spelled funny, Luellen, at rebuildingdallas.org.
And Dennis, so if you were going to put a number on what you'd like to see right now, we have a deficit in the veteran community of people that
I need about 15 more veterans.
Okay, that need that help. That's not impossible, friends. So reach out to everyone that you know, but also you need what for your team? Well, how many more do you need on your team to help us knock this?
Well, we need some more companies and some more sponsors. We're probably about $100,000 away from making this real. But with the sponsors and the companies coming in, that'll come together, but we always need more of those. And the 1,200 volunteers, that's a stretch for us. We had just a little over 1,000 last year. The word's getting out there. People are pretty excited about this effort, so we think it's not going to be that big a problem to bring together the 1,200 volunteers, but we'd rather go ahead and have them locked in as soon as possible so we know we have them to count on.
Yeah, whenever you've got a huge effort like this, you're going to have some obstacles you have to overcome. It's best to really have that above and beyond as you go forward.
Exactly. And
just be able to go full throttle through the whole thing. I'm so excited for what you're doing, Dennis. Thank you for sharing that with our audience and giving us an opportunity to support you.
I appreciate it.
That matters a lot to us. And friends, we the sponsors of the Operation Freedom are Home Depot and Camden Homes and Wells Fargo and Texas Women's University. We got Sherwin-Williams on here, Post
and our national partner, Charter Communications.
Yes,
they're a national partner with Rebuilding Together as well.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And this type of an effort can go anywhere. Anywhere at all. So let's make a crazy splash with this and get all the resources that we need. If this is on your heart, I believe that you have just been connected. Reach out to Dennis and show him what you got. Introduce him to your team and let him see what kind of resources and where he can plug you in. And I'm sure that's all going to come together when you have that conversation. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate you. This has been Susan Hamilton. You've been listening to the Offbeat Business Show. And make sure that you share this with all your friends. Remember the lineups, the replays, the magazine, everything that you need to get in communication with the Offbeat Business Show is at offbeatbusiness.com.
So cool, it's got frost on it.